going back here, let's so we are going back to the read range in here. So now it shows a couple of different types. One is UHF, the other one is as chipless, so without the chip. That gives a read range of less than 50 centimeters. So what's a less than 50 centimeters? About this much. Okay. So if you go more than that, it's gonna lose the connection. All right. Frequency. Now there's an organization that does regulations, something about the energy, the energy takes. Now the harvesting. Okay, I gotta find out exactly what that means. Price, characteristics, Bluetooth is high, the NFC is low, moderate, memory capacity. Okay, the reader cost. The reader is the device that able to read the NFC device. Okay, so let's actually look at the RFID. RFID again, the term RFID comes from radio frequency, so radio technologies. So radio technologies for radio communications, we really depend on it. Without that, we cannot communicate. Our humanity will suffer. So this it's a little bit old, 2013, but nothing really major has changed. But basics are all there. Now it talks about the RFID tags. Basically, you have a RFID tag and the reader. Actually, there are certain components of RFID system, so we'll get to that. So let's go down. History of development. Okay, guys, 1999. Okay, so it's not that old, RFID. It's fairly new technologies. Okay, so components are important. General components. Transponders. What's a transponder? Same thing as the tags. So tags actually like this. I'll show you the picture of it. Chip inside, antenna, case, and battery. Optional for active only. Active meaning there's a passive and active. One that requires a battery and one that does not. I will discuss the characteristics between the power. So here's a picture of a tag. In fact, if we go to Google, you can see more pictures of it. But this is fairly good enough. So here is the chip right here. That's the chip. Okay. And here's antenna. Alright, we don't have a case here, we don't have a battery, so one that has a battery is active, one because that's basically power. So there are two types, one that with the power, without the power. One that with the power can go longer distance. There are different characters. One longer distance, but it costs a higher, much more money, So for library, basically if you want every library to have a tag, it costs a lot of money, right? So, and battery can take up space. So that's a problem. If it costs a lot of money, you gotta stick the tag somewhere. So that is a problem. So a passive would make much more sense if need a shorter distance. Again, the antenna is there, no case is there. Okay. Now for a better picture, you can see more pictures. You can Google it. RFID tag and some more. Sometimes, a lot of times, it's helpful to look at the pictures, right? Because since after all, these are devices. So these are like tags, passive, right? Obviously passive. The balls like that. Now, which one is antenna? And all these lines will be antenna. The chips will be really small, so you have to really identify the chip. Okay, so these are all pictures, antenna. Now I'm guessing this will be the active. I'm just guessing because that could be the, but I'm not sure. Active again means that it has a power, right? So UHF is what? Ultra high frequency. So UHF automatically tells you we just talked about the frequency range, right? So you should know the frequency range of the UHF. Going back to here. Okay, so electromagnetic field, okay, tags. Now energy source. Now it can be classified as passive, active, semi-passive. What's a semi-passive? We already talked about the active and passive. Semi-passive is tags that internal power keeps microchip powered at all times. Have internal power source get microchip powered at all times. So they have internal power source. Active will be external power source. Yeah, that's how they classify them. Passive means no power at all. Active would be the energy supply for both microchip and generate the signal from antenna. Okay. So a little bit different. So let's be more specific here. So internal power source that keeps the microchip powered at all time. The internal power source, like a battery. Third type is internal power source, but they use energy supply for both, power the chip and generate a signal from antenna. So active actually gives power to the chip and to signal the antenna. So the antenna kind of gets a boost, right? So because it's to get the signal. So active is not just the power, chip and antenna. We are being a little more technical here. Okay, which can be, it can be tens of meters. Okay, so RFID, you can make it tens of, very far away. So when would you use them? Well, when you use your passive, basically the cost and range, cost and range, because it says 2 millimeter to few meters. So a few meters can cover the like a library book, but it could be tens of meters, much further than that. Tens of, like your house. If you need if you're at a distribution center or something, that you don't have to be close to the products. Okay. Shipping, like a cargoes, they use a lot of tags for that. Okay. And frequency band, that's also kind of interesting. We just talked about UHF, but actually RFID can use LF, HF, and UHF. These are the ranges. Okay, 3 types. And it says the characteristics. Low frequency, cheaper. High frequency, more expensive. Low frequency, cheaper. Okay, basically that's general. Generally that's how it goes. Cheaper the tags. Okay, lower frequency. Higher frequency, lower the frequency. The higher frequency, as I told you, a lot of them use 2.4s, around 2.52, but 5.8, those range, 900, around 900, ultra high. Okay, around it, Okay, so that will be UHF, that's HF. LF. So radio frequency use all of that stuff, and depending how you classify them. Okay, so this one UHF, and they have a coverage differences. UHF can range from 3 to 6 meters, and for passive, and active will be different too. 30 plus for active, so that's way big, right? Way big. The price tags will be much more expensive than generally. Now active will be more expensive. You said active is more expensive than the passive ones. Okay, so basically that's the system. Now here's a picture of the RFID system. We have some tags reader, trying to read the tags. Okay, and then once it gets read, it generates some sort of data. Alright, generates data. You send the data to here, backend, and whatever the computer has, the saves the data, and then you check and all that stuff. That's typical application, like computer application. So you read, you send it to wireless communication to whatever the server. Okay, look it up and blah blah blah. And so what does the RFID reader looks like? There are a lot of RFID readers. You can also look at the pictures of the reader. It's basically, most of them are hand kind of, you might have seen the picture of it before, but kind of handheld, and